Good morning, children. Second unit நம்ம travel பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். So last class we finished with one example. So after that today we will start 2.10 motion along one dimension. So here we'll discuss what happens if the object is moving along the one direction, one dimension. First we'll discuss about average velocity. So there is a formula for velocity. V is equal to d by t. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா இந்த ஃபார்முலா? ஜெனரல் ஃபார்முலா லோவர் கிளாஸில் படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. வெலாசிட்டி இஸ் நத்திங் பட் rate of change of displacement. In the formula, so here we are finding this is what I wrote is velocity, but here it is given average velocity. So average velocity we can write like given delta x divided by delta t, and delta x can be expanded like x2 minus x1. That means final position minus initial position, and time also can be calculated between final time and what time we are calculating. So yeah, that's why it is called as average velocity. And this average velocity is also vector quantity. So once again we are recalling what is vector. Vector is nothing but it having both magnitude and direction, but it is in one dimension. So here we are explaining about one dimension. In one dimension we can explain only the two directions, maybe positive and negative x direction. Hence we use positive and negative x direction. We are using that to denote the direction. And now instantaneous velocity or velocity is defined here with the formula v is equal to limited delta tends to 0, delta x divided by delta t, that is equal to we can write as dx divided by dt. So this formula, this definition of average velocity or instantaneous velocity, we can represent with the help of graph. After drawing the slope, position versus time, the graph is drawn for the velocity of given particular object, and with the help of distance or displacement we can find out the velocity. So we know we are writing the formula for velocity v is equal to dx divided by dt. Then we can write dx is equal to v into dt. This is after cross multiplication from the previous one. And now we are using the integration method in this formula. So using the integration in this formula, integration x1 to x2 dx is equal to v t1 to t2 v dt. So already we know the integration equivalent to area of the given curve. So the term we can write as integration t1 to t2 v dt represents the under the curve v as a function of with respect to the time. Okay, so how to give with respect to the time to namak theriyum. And since we can write it is the left hand side of integration, left hand side is integration with respect to the displacement between the distance x1 to x2. This is placed in left hand side integration, and right hand side the integration which having the time, it's starts from t1 and end at the t2. So the area under that is drawn here in figure. It's shown in figure 2.35. It's shown, and see here. And in this diagram, along the x-axis time is taken, along the y-axis velocity is taken here. So using the velocity versus time we are drawing the curve. In that curve particular slope alone we are choosing. In that particular we are finding the answer here. We are finding the velocity. If it is in positive direction, the displacement is called as positive displacement, that is along with positive x-axis. If that same value goes to negative, that is called as negative displacement. So how to use the negative and positive we'll discuss in this example and following examples. So first we'll see the example 2.25 and listen the question. A particle moves along the x-axis in such a way its coordinates of x varies with time t. According to the equation x is equal to 2 minus 5t plus 6t square. Then the question is, what is the initial velocity of the particle? What we have to find out? What is the initial velocity of the particle? Now in solution, first we are writing the given question. X is equal to 2 minus 5t plus 6t square. So what is the equation we are using? 2 minus 5t plus 6t square. then we can write velocity is v is equal to dx divided by dt. Here in this place of x we are substituting this 2 minus 5t plus 6t square. Then we are writing v after differentiation. This 2 will become 0 because there is no time function. It is not acting with respect to that, and also it is constant. So we are writing as we are neglecting that. We are writing for that 0. Then you see next is minus 5t, and we know the formula. Once again I am recalling you. Formula is n x power n minus 1. Then t power is 1, that will come front. X is what? T here. Then n minus 1 is 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Then we can write 1 t power 0, that is equal to 1. Then already 5 is there. Then we are writing minus 5 plus 6t square. The same method we can apply here. Then 2, when it comes front, it will become 12t. And here the question is for initial velocity, and initial velocity of the particle means we can write the time for initial velocity is 0. Then initial velocity is substitute here as 0. Then minus 5 plus 12, we are subtracting here. When we are substituting t here, when we are substituting t is here, then this second term will become 0. Then rest is minus 5. Then we can write this value is here minus 5 ms per minus 1. And this minus is giving the the velocity is in the x direction. And average speed we can find out with the formula, the ratio between total path length to the total time period. Using that we can find out the average speed here. So hope you are understood about the sum. And we are entering the next topic, that is relative velocity in 1 and 2 dimensional motion. For example, we are having two objects, namely A and B. These two are moving with the different velocities. Then velocity of one object A with respect to another object B means that we can say the relative velocity of object A with respect to B. Have you understood, children? ரெண்டு ட்ரெயின் மூவ் ஆகிட்டு இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். ஒரு ட்ரெயினோட நேம் ஏ, இன்னொரு ட்ரெயினோட நேம் பி. ஸோ ஏ ட்ரெயின் வந்து நம்ம எதோட கம்பேர் பண்ணுறோம் வித் ரெஸ்பெக்ட் டு பி ட்ரெயினோட. சி ட்ரெயினும் மூவ் ஆகிட்டுருக்கு, இல்லை சியை நம்ம கண்டுக்கிறது இல்லை. ஏ ட்ரெயின் எதுக்கு ரெஸ்பெக்ட் நம்ம ஸ்பீடை கால்குலேட் பண்ணுறோம் வித் ரெஸ்பெக்ட் டு பி செகண்ட் ட்ரெயின் மட்டும் வச்சுக்கிட்டோம்னா, here we can write the object train A is with respect to B அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். இங்கே C நம்ம எடுத்துக்கலாம். So one object is comparing with the other object, it gives some relation, so that velocity is called as relative velocity. And here case 1 is discussed. Say the two objects A and B which is moving the velocities VA and VB respectively. It is moving along the straight line and same direction, so both are moving in the straight line and direction is also same. Then we can write the velocity is mentioned here with the vector notation, VA vector and VB vector. It is with respect to the ground. Now the relative velocity of object A with respect to B we can write here as VAB vector is equal to VA vector minus VB vector. Like that, if we are saying the same question but changing one term, that is the relative velocity of object B with respect to object A அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம்னா, we can write the formula VBA vector is equal to VB vector minus VA vector. Okay, so then we can say if two objects are moving in the same direction means the magnitude of relative velocity of one object with another is equal to the difference in magnitude of two velocities. Okay, so here we'll find out with the magnitude of equal magnitude with the two velocities. And based on this, அப்போ இதில் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுறோன்னா, ரெண்டு ஆப்ஜெக்ட் மூவ் ஆகாது அப்படின்னா we are giving the relative velocity one object with respect to the next one. ஸோ அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் நம்ம எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுறோம். And see the example 2.26. Suppose we having two cars A and B are moving with the uniform velocities with respect to the ground along the parallel tracks and in the same direction. Let the velocities of A and B. A is moving the speed 35 km per hour. It is in east direction and 40 km per hour due to east direction. What is the velocity of car B with respect to A கேட்டிருக்கான். சரியா? into same direction but different velocity it is moving. We'll find out the answer here. The relative velocity b with respect to a அப்படின்னா we can write the formula vba vector is equal to velocity of b car minus velocity of a car. So we are subtracting here two velocities, then answer will become 5 km per hour. So both are moving due to the east direction, then answer will be east. Suppose if they're asking relative velocity of a with respect to b கேட்டனா the formula will be changed as vab vector is equal to va vector minus vb vector is equal to 5 km per hour. It is with respect to, so a with respect to b, no, then it is with respect to west direction. Okay, and here the passenger in the car a, the car b will appear to be moving east with velocity 5. For passenger in car b will appear the car a is moving westwards direction with the velocity of 5 km per hour. Okay, so it is understandable here. Then case 2, so we are considering in this case 2 a and b is moving with the uniform velocities. எப்படி நம்ம கன்சிடர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம், it is moving with the uniform velocity v and vb along the same straight tracks but the direction is opposite. ரெண்டு யூனிஃபார்மாக மூவ் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கு, ஆனால் எப்படி எந்த டைரக்ஷனில் மூவ் ஆகுதுன்னா it is moving in the opposite direction. Then we can write va vector is opposite to vb vector. Okay, then we can write the relative velocity of object a with respect to object b is vab vector is equal to va vector minus vb எப்படி ஆக்ட் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கு, ஆல்ரெடி ஆப்போசிட் ஆக்ட் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கு, minus of minus vb vector, then minus into minus will become plus, then we can write va vector plus vb vector. Okay, are you clear children? And the relative velocity of the object b with respect to the object a is, we can write the formula vba vector is equal to, so that we can write here as vba vector is equal to minus vb then minus va, that is equal to minus of va plus vb. So this is what velocity of object b with respect to object a. Okay, suppose if two objects are moving in opposite direction means the magnitude of relative velocity of one object with respect to other is equal to the sum of the magnitude of the velocities. அந்த ரெண்டையும் நம்ம ஆட் பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆன்சர் கிடைக்குதோ அதுக்கு ஈக்குவலாக இருக்கிறது தான் இந்த ரிசல்டன்ட். Okay, and now case 3, and in this case 3 here we are giving the condition that is a angle difference between the two velocities. Okay, so firstல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா same direction, then secondல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா uniform but in opposite. In case 3 it is we are saying here it is moving with certain angle, say that angle is theta between the directions. Then we are writing the relative velocity of a with respect to b is, we can write the formula vab vector is equal to va vector minus vb vector, and here with respect to theta then we can write the formula for magnitude of the direction. Vab vector is given, so we are writing the resultant vab vector, vab is equal to square root of va square plus vb square minus 2va vb cos theta, and like that the direction we can write here tan beta is equal to vb sin theta divided by va minus vb cos theta. Here beta is nothing but angle between vab vector and vb vector. Okay, and this we can give some points. Suppose theta is 0 degree means we can say the body moving along the parallel lines but in the same direction. So we are having va vb is equal to va minus vb in the direction va vector, and also when we are writing vba is equal to, we can write the formula vb minus va in the direction of vb vector. And second point, suppose if the theta, if the velocity between the direction of velocity between the two velocities having the angle 180 degree means we can write the formula vab is equal to va plus vb in the direction of va vector, or vba is equal to vb plus va in the direction of vb vector. And for third point is theta is 90 degree means then we can write the formula a with respect to b, we can write vab is equal to square root of va square plus vb square. Okay, square root of va square plus vb square. And in fourth point, considering the person moving horizontally with the velocity vm vector and say the rainfall vertically with the velocity vb vector. an umbrella is held to avoid the rain. And எப்படி வச்சா அவருக்கு அவாய்ட் ஆகும் ரெயின் அவர் மேலே விழாமல் போகும்னா we can write vrm vector minus, see here this direction is given in this. Okay, so இவரோட பொசிஷன் தான் இங்கே கொடுத்துருக்கு. Then vrm vector is equal to vr vector minus vm vector, and which having the magnitude vrm is equal to square root of vr square plus vm square. Then the direction we can write theta is equal to tan inverse of vm divided by vr. Okay, with the vertical as shown in the figure, and already we discussed that. And in this angle if we keep means the raindrops will be give less impact on us, so that umbrella it is maximum cover, maximum raindrops we can avoid to fall on us. The person can be avoid from wet when we are keeping like this, maximum we can avoid that. And based on these points here example 2.27 is given, and say two trains A and B are moving with the uniform velocities along parallel tracks. So how it is moving? Parallel but in opposite directions. Say the velocity of train A be 40 km per hour and it is due east, and that the train B be 40 km per hour due west. Then we have to calculate the relative velocities of the train. So the relative velocity of the train A with respect to B we can take as VAB is equal to 80 km per hour. So these two are added because it is moving opposite direction now. 80 km per hour, it is due to east, and thus the passenger in B, the train A will appear to move east with the velocity of 80 km per hour. Okay, and now for the relative velocity of B with respect to A is we can write BA is equal to 80 km per hour due west, and to a passenger in train A, the train B will appear to move westwards with the velocity of 80 km per hour. So when it is moving opposite, the velocities are added here, but it is different for different train passengers. It is moving like a opposite. So that is very clear from this example. And now example 2.28. So in this example, two trains are given A and B. It is moving along the parallel tracks with the same velocity in the same direction. Okay, last question is opposite direction. It is same velocity in same direction. Let the velocity of each train is 50 km per hour due east. Calculate the relative velocities of the trains. We can write here the relative velocity of B with respect to A we can write as VBA is equal to VB minus VA. Then we are writing the both the values 50 km per hour plus minus 50 km per hour. Okay, it is same direction. Then it is subtracted here. Then the answer will become 0 km per hour. Similarly, the relative velocity of A with respect to B, that is also 0. So the each train will appear to be at rest with respect to other. So that is we are understanding from this. So same direction means it is subtracted, and here as per this question the passengers will feel both are moving with the both trains are in the rest position like that, but both are moving with the same velocity in same direction. So that we can understand from this. And next is example 2.29. So question is, how long will a boy sitting near the window of a train traveling at 36 km per hour see a train passing by in the opposite direction with a speed of 18 km per hour? The length of the slow moving train is 90 meter. So what is the length of the slow moving train? It is 90 meter. Then we are writing the relative velocity of the slow moving train with respect to the boy is, we can write the formula 36 plus 18. It is opposite now, and these two velocities are added here. So 36 plus 18, that we can write as 54 km per hour. Okay, and this answer we are getting from this. Okay, so இதிலிருந்து இது எப்படி கிடைக்குது அப்படின்னா we are converting kilometer into meter, then hour into second. Then we can write 54 into கிலோமீட்டர்ன்ற பிளேஸில் மீட்டரை மட்டும் விட்டுருங்க. கிலோக்கு பதிலாக வாட் இஸ் த கிலோ வேல்யூ இஸ் 1000 ஆர் 10 power 3. 1 kilo is 10 power 3 நம்ம ஃபஸ்ட்லேயே பார்த்துருக்கோம். ஆர் we can write as 1000. அண்ட் ஹார் வந்து பரில் இருக்குது, டிவைட் பையில் இருக்குது. அப்போ ஹாரை செகண்ட்ஸாக பார்த்துட்டோம்னா 3600 seconds. அதுக்கடுத்து தான் we are writing meter per second. சரியா? ஏன் நம்ம மாத்துறோம்னா as per SI the distance should be taken as meter. அப்படியே கிலோமீட்டர் நம்ம எடுத்துக்க கூடாது. இந்த ரெண்டையும் நம்ம கட் பண்ணோம்னா அப்போ கிலோவை நம்ம 1000 ஆகும், மீட்டர் அப்படியே வச்சுக்கிறோம். தென் per hourன்றத செகண்ட்ஸை மாத்திரம் per 3600 1 ஹவரில் வந்து 3600 செகண்ட்ஸ் இருக்குது, அதை கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணிடுறோம். then we are cancelling this, we will get the answer 5 divided by 18 meter per second. அதை தான் நம்ம ஸ்பீடாக substitute பண்ணுறோம். Okay, and now we having the formula, the full length of the train will be taken as what? 90. Okay, then we are writing 15, velocity 15 is equal to, what is the formula for velocity? V is equal to d by t. So v is what? 15, length வந்து d அங்கே எடுத்துக்கிறோம் 90 divided by time அப்படின்றப்போ time is equal to d by v, 90 by 15 that is equal to 6 seconds. Okay, இதுதான் இந்த கொஸ்டினோட ஆன்சர். ஸோ ஹோப் இந்த ஆன்சர் உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சிருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அண்ட் சில்ட்ரன், ஃபார் டுடேஸ் ஹோம்ஒர்க் you take this example 2.27 and 2.28 only. Okay, these two examples, இந்த ரெண்டு எக்ஸாம்பிள் எல்லாம் தரவு பண்ணிவிட்டு தென் கொஸ்டினோட வேல்யூஸை மட்டும் வச்சு அதை மட்டும் நோட் பண்ணிவிட்டு வித்தவுட் சீயிங் யூ ஒர்க் இட் அவுட் இன் யுவர் ஹோம்ஒர்க் பார்ட் எழுதி அந்த ஹோம்ஒர்க் பார்ட் எழுதினதை இமேஜ் எடுத்து என்னோட பர்சனல் வாட்ஸ்அப் நம்பருக்கு சென்ட் பண்ணிடுங்க. ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சில்ட்ரன்.